My name is Renaud Lefort, and I'm a player for Les Quatre Chevaliers, which is the Four Knights in English. We are a fast pitch comedy show, and I'm also producer of that show, which is very famous here in Eastern Canada. It exists since 1965, so I'm the second generation of it. And yeah, we're touring around Eastern Canada, playing ball and making people laugh.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, there's a reason I have my oversized A's hat. You guys know after I cut my hair, I got too much room in these hats. Gotta get new hats. But I'm calling him, he's not calling himself that, the king of the swing, Renaud, on his baseball skills. He's doing things. Growing up playing baseball, I've never seen. I'm kind of one of those flashy guys, wanted to be Ricky Henderson my whole life and Deion Sanders mixed with a little bit of Bo Jackson. I've never seen anybody hit a ball, do the things he's doing, and then to hear that it's comedy baseball, I said, this needs to be in the MLB. Renaud, welcome to the show. You got to let the people know, what do you call the swings that you do? How did you learn them? And I mean, it's just, you're just amazing. So give us the game on how we got here, please.
Thank you, Kellen. Really appreciate. Listen, we play in a team called Les Quatre Chevaliers, which is in French, because actually we started in Eastern Canada and Quebec. So the province of Quebec, Canada, it's mostly French, and this is how it started in 1965 with our founding father, Claude Potvin, which was like kind of my third grandfather, if you want, because my dad played with him for 26 years. So I was kind of the bad boy back then. I said bad boys, but because it's a comedy show, I was more taking care of the costumes because we put a lot of costumes on during the game. And I was also listening to all those VHS back in the days during winter. So I was a kid and I knew that show so well that Mr. Claude Potvin, our founding father, in spring when he was doing the show, like he was trying to remember about, okay, what am I supposed to do now? So I was the one like telling him, hey, no, you go there, you do this joke. So I kind of got that passion very early in my life to be the second generation of that team. And like I said, it was very famous. And Mr. Claude Potvin was actually the first one who started that. Let's call it the backward swing, the one you've seen. And maybe you have seen also the one-handed, like the one where I passed like the bat behind my back and then I grabbed it back with one hand. This one was more my creation. But yeah, man, I have the backward, the one that really brought me into Fox and Friends, got invited then on the biggest morning show in the United States. It was awesome. And it also brought me to NHK, which is the national television in Japan. So yeah, backward. I'll call it the backward home run. This is how you type it on YouTube, so if you want to see it.
Is there, ask the people, because, in America, everybody's like, has he trademarked? Has he, can anybody do that swing? Like that being yours in history, have you got any recognition? Maybe it's Guinness Book World Records or anybody where your name in history will be known for that swing. Have you got that far yet to label it yours? And that's my American question for you.
That's your American question, man. I'm a French Quebecer. We don't see that much of a big deal. Like we don't see this like that far. I mean, I think, I got some articles on me on MLB network that share my backward home run, and they end up saying that I'm the overlord of softball. And I'm like, man, I was crying. I was reading this and I couldn't believe it. We grew up here in French Quebec, like I said, very small community of French people here. We don't see that big. We just do things. We have fun, and I know here. I mean, I have like 40 shows in every summer. We have like 1,000 people to our games, and some games in very small towns, and like we attract more people at our game than there's actually people who lives in the town, and it's that is awesome, man. But like I said, I didn't trademark anything about my backward swing. If anybody wants to do it, I mean, you're free to do it. And I mean, I haven't seen nobody who have like did it after I did it in 2015, which was my first viral video that really came out, and that was huge. And like I said, this is what that brought me to Fox and Friends, um, and since 2015 that I made a big deal like with that viral video. I haven't seen nobody trying to do it or anybody like nobody who succeed about like doing a home run backward. But man, I guess maybe someday we'll have a kid doing it, and maybe it's going to be the future of the four Chevaliers of my team, and I'll tell him to come to Canada, and he'll be taking my place. I'm getting older now.
And you know what it reminded me of? The French tennis player, black guy, Gael Monfils. I told you my French is terrible, but the way Gail, when he plays tennis, he goes behind his legs sometimes. He does
Yeah,
all these things that are unnecessary where, you know, real tennis experts, which I'm not, I just like watching exciting games. And it's hard for me to watch men's tennis. I rather watch the women. That's just me. But that's what
yeah.
it that's what it reminds me of. And people will say, but he's not the best. And you know, but he's the most exciting when in a tournament. Some people may have tried to criticize you and say, well, if you're that good, why don't you go on to play for Toronto, you know, or go MLB? But a lot of people are saying that MLB baseball is boring. You would bring a lot of life. And I know there's other teams that do things like you, but I haven't seen anybody hit like you. That's why you're here. But what do you say to people, and especially youth? We don't care about the haters so much, about the youth when they have a different style of play and they want to do something that considers themselves an outlier, and people are criticizing them, say, just do it the regular way, hold the bat like this. Like, give us your process of how you got into your own
Yeah.
and getting comfortable.
Well, first of all, like those people needs to know that this team exists, like I said, since 1965, and the concept of that show is all about comedy. It's all about doing special trick shots, making jokes, wearing costumes, dancing. It's like the Seven of Bananas. Like now they're getting famous on the internet. Like in the past few years, like they're now the big deal on the internet. They're doing like it's very great what they're doing, and it's just like very similar, but we are a fast pitch team. We are 4 against 9. We have the best pitchers, so we usually win our games. Like we don't lose often, but yeah, man, it's part of that show. And like I said to so many people who ask me a question, why aren't you in the MLB? Why aren't you playing like professional baseball? I was like, man, I grew up with my dad. He was in the original team. Um, I've never I never thought about playing baseball. I just wanted to play fast pitch, and I wanted to be part of the Four Chevaliers. For me, um, keeping the team alive and continuing the legacy of my dad and Mr. Claude Potvin, it was just my biggest dream. I wanted to have fun. I mean, I was a kid. I was playing baseball when I was a kid, and I was going at bat, doing the moonwalk, because we do Michael Jackson on the show. We do a moonwalk, and I was a kid. I wasn't just not able to be serious at this game. I just wanted to put some entertainment on. So that's why, man. I mean, people maybe they just don't understand the concept when they just see that little video, but the whole thing is a very good comedy show. And if you see like the 2 hours show, you'll understand more about that particular moment where we do this. But we also hit the balls with tools. We do like I said, that one end. There's so many trick shots we do that. I mean, this one by many others, but that one got so much attention, and it's great, man. I wasn't expecting that. It's just like it went viral. Like I couldn't imagine that like Japan and Taiwan and China they wanted a piece of me like in interview or whatever. It's unbelievable what happened. Like internet these days, it just like brings you to some places where you couldn't expect. And yeah, man, just having fun doing this show. I mean, you should come. We did a show in Florida last winter, by the way. We did our first show in the United States.
I have to come as long as if I'm in this state, I have to come. I have something like an alert to like double check your guys' schedule because I know my daughters would love it. My wife can't stand any sports unless I can get her like in a box where she can talk to the other wives and have the catered meal. But I know this will keep her attention because she's a soccer expert. Like, ask her anything about soccer from all the way back to the 50s, 60s,
No
she can
way.
tell you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but tell the people, because people say, okay, you always, are usually win your games. Is the league that you're in set up, is it kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters where the other team is in on it and
No.
maybe they're not as good? Or is they're also actors? Like
No, they're
is
not
it like
actors.
that or is it different?
Yeah, you're good question, by the way, because they've like a lot of people compares us as the Harlem Globetrotters, and I always say the same thing. Like, yeah, we're just like the Harlem Globetrotters, but we actually face teams that wants to win. But hey, listen, I mean, I'm not gonna face Team Canada. Like, we're just 4 on the field against 9. But every towns, every region we're going, like they're taking the best players out of, let's say, 30 miles away or 60 miles away, whatever, and then they put a team together and hey, sometimes they want to win. But I mean, we exist. It's been 58 years we exist, and we have built that legacy where we we are always winning, like we never lose. So I just think that part of that success we have on the field is the mind game. That's like we win the mind game every game. Sometimes I'm like, how did we win this game? Like we see a bunch of players with the pitcher, and everybody's playing good. They're good players. They're 9, we're 4, but I just feel like we break them till the big. Like in the beginning, we have this introduction of our players, and man, it's just like it's big time. The how many games like we played, like 3,000 games like we played in all our history, and we have only like 60 lost. And like at this very moment, like the team is just like so confident, and then boom, like we break them, and I feel like it's part of our success. But yeah, man, it just sometimes we a lot of chance. Like we're lucky. We're lucky at many games. I feel like the ghost of our founding father will put the ball on our bats at the right moments sometimes.
And that is just awesome, and that 4 players, and the 4, I mean, it's in the name, so it's not like you guys can get a 5th. What happens if do you have alternatives if someone gets hurt? Like, how does that work on your guys' travels, especially like if something happens in Japan? Is it always just 4, then we can go down to 3? How does that work?
Yeah, but then, no, we have 2 pitchers, so our pitchers are also good athletes. So if whatever something happened, like the shortstop gets hurt, because we're just like I'm the first baseman, there's my shortstop and a catcher and 2 pitchers. So the second pitcher is there to back up. Like they both pitch during the game, but if whatever happens, my pitcher could go. He can be the catcher, he can be the shortstop, he can be the first base. So we all play every position.
That's amazing. How do you select your teams that you play? What do they have to be in a certain league in a certain region?
Oh yeah, but for sure they need to be in the province of Quebec. So like between Montreal and Quebec, which are the biggest cities here in the province. So yeah, they have to be somewhere close to Montreal or Quebec. And most of the time we select them because we have faced them. Because it's like my generation, it's been 10 years. So the team I have now, it's like let's say in the past 3 years, like these guys came in as the youngs, like they have like my 2 pitchers, like one is 22 years old, the other one is 24, and just brought like some new blood. In like 3 years ago, I brought some young pitchers, and I just feel like now we're good maybe for the next 10 or 15 years with these guys. And yeah, it all started when we faced them, and one of them was 16 years old, and man, he was just so great. I was like, man, you need to keep practicing. You need to go into Team Quebec, which is the province. Like, let's say our province, just to make sure people understand, our province is like a state for you guys in the United States. So, province of Quebec would be kind of like state of Florida, if you want. And yeah, so just selected him there, told him to go play for the Quebec team, which plays all around Canada after that in big tournaments. And then he started practicing more and more, and he ended up being with us the past like 3 years ago. He started playing for us, and it's very amazing, man. These kids, like, they have so much fun playing with us because there's not a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of team where you can go after your junior career. Like, you play junior as fast pitch, and then after that you don't know where to go. Like, you start working, like you have a real life, kids, a house, and then like these guys, like they just wanna keep playing. So during summer, man, these guys they're just happy to be the best here in the province and to keep their passion alive and playing with us, with all the fans, the kids. They come and see our games, man. Just like, I think the kids is the best thing we have. Like, after a game, they come and see us and they want pictures, and it's just so amazing, man.
Now, there's somebody listening, and I always tell people I do a lot of my questions for the 14-year-old boy, especially at home. Doesn't mean I'm disregarding anyone. I just know that there's a lot of males out there, young males, have a father, don't have a father. They're trying to figure life out, and they hear your story and say, I want to do that. I have, 3 friends I could play with, and we want to be friends for life. Will we be able to do this full time and not have to have a real job? Because I don't think anybody wants to have a real job nowadays. But like, is it set up for that, or is it seasonal where you will need to supplement your income?
Oh, well, the thing about me is I'm the producer of that show, and I'm also the main comedian. So it's like I said, it's a stand-up comedy show at the same time. Okay. So we have so many jokes, and all these jokes is like part of, like, piece of puzzles in a bag. And, like, there's some jokes that are right on the spot that I just created there, like, for that special moment. But some other jokes, they exist since the past like 50 years, and they're holding that bag here, and like just taking some pieces of the puzzle out at the right times. And, man, it's just a very, very, it's something that requires a lot of focus and a lot of memory. Because so that's why, like, let's say I'm the main attraction on this show. All the other players, like, I mean, I'm not saying they're not a main attraction. My pitchers are also good main attraction too, but every year we go to some places where they invite us, like, every year or every 2 years. So the show needs to change. So during winter, I need to script another show. I need to write new jokes. I need to bring some new characters. And so this is why I'm mostly, like, I'm the only full-time on that project. The other guys, they work during the week. So we play during the weekend. And yeah, man, I don't think, I don't know. I'm just saying, but the reason why it works so much, and the reason why we have so much success, and that everybody wants to invite us, it's because we are good for unprofitable association. We raise a lot of money, and I think this is the best way, man, to get booking, like, to get the booking easy. Because, like, if your show, like, you sell your show for a cheap price, so the association are sure they'll make money with it. And then, man, this is like, I mean, this is how we do in Quebec here. And some shows, like, we raise like $20,000 for the kids, for cancer, for minor baseball league, whatever. So, man, I don't know. I mean, I'm the only one who do full-time job with it. So, yeah.
And tell the people how, with the other players, because we see this in music is notorious for this, that, like, jealousy comes in. You have your lead singer, but now the guitarist wants to get on the mic more, or the drummer wants to say, like, how do you deal with ego and people playing their position? Of course, you said you've been doing this. You saw the Knights, the original Knights. Well, okay, maybe not the original, y'all. He's not that old, but you saw them, make this happen. How do you deal with the maybe jealousy that can creep? And not to say that there is, but how can other people, get their teams to understand that, hey, you're going to be the lead singer right now, the lead player right now, the lead night? How does that
Man,
work?
your questions are so good, and I hope I can answer as good as I can, because like I said, I'm French, so trying my best, man, to be as good as I can to answer those good questions. But this is a good question, and it's actually very funny because 10 years ago, when I brought the Four Chevaliers back to life, because you need to understand that there's a 10 years, like 10 years time frame that the founding father, Claude Potvin, passed away. We didn't perform for 10 years, and I brought the team back 10 years after. Claude Potvin ends I think, well, yeah, it was in 2003. He retired, and then I didn't do anything at this moment. I didn't take the team right away because whatever, man. I wouldn't be able to do it in front of him. I think it's when he passed away that I wanted to give him a tribute to. I wanted to honor his memory, and so I did it. Like, I brought the Four Chevaliers back to life in 2013, and Claude Potvin's, like I said, our founding father's wife, she told me one thing about how it's gonna, maybe how I'm gonna live my new generation and how I'm gonna live with the players, whatever. But she said to me, she said, Claude, when he started the Four Chevaliers in 1965, because it was so new, all the players, they were jealous, and all the players wanted to take the fame and wanted to be like better than him, or they didn't understand that he was the leader. So there was some jealousy, and they had like some arguing, fights, whatever. So it took him 10 years to build the perfect team, because after 10 years, all the players with him, like, they agreed that, yeah, man, if you take this guy away from the show, there's not going to be any more show. So he's the main attraction of this show. And it's funny because in 2013 till now, I kind of feel like now, since the past like 3 years, I finally have the perfect combination. I have no jealousy. I just have like my teammates are just happy to play with me, and they understand that if I'm not there, if I'm not working so much during winter to build this show, and yeah, they understand that I'm I'm the leader of that team, and they are important, just as much as I am, like during the game for sure. But for that old concept, for that old show, the script and everything, this is like there's no more any jealousy or anything that tries to confrontations about who's the best or whatever. But yeah, man, it happens. Like, it happens. I remember like some back in the days, 10 or 9 years before, we used to have some problems with that. Yeah, for sure.
That helps somebody. And also let me help somebody, because when you are saying, and you guys know my French is terrible, but when he's talking about the Knights, the Champ-Volé, I totally messed it up. People, my audience listens to Shark Tank, and so they hear Kevin say the Chevalier du Testament, and Mark and all them always laugh, and it's the night word, you guys. That's what you guys are hearing again. So
Yeah.
if you can't be a sommelier, you can then maybe practice on your baseball skills. But I promise you, that backward swing, I've tried back here. My kids have laughed at me. I said, I got to try to get this down with all this yard. I mean, that swing is just amazing. You talked earlier about, raising, $20,000 for nonprofits. One of my signature questions is, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you plan to do? Talk a little more about that. Maybe one you haven't mentioned, because who wants to win in life if you can't give something back?
Man, this is it's so much. We feel so good inside about giving back. Like I said, like some show, we go there, and after the game, like the organizer come and see me, and he's like, yeah, we raised 20,000, we raised 15,000. I mean, every year we raise about like 300,000 or $400,000 every year for unprofitable. And we see these kids like with cancer, and we see different kind of charity, but it's just something that we feel so good. Well, I mean, I don't care about leaving that show with the small part of the cake and leaving the big part of the cake to the kids in need, because I mean, this is how it was back in the day. And if I want to honor the memory of our founding father, Claude Potvin, I think that this is how it still needs to be. We still need to raise money. We still need to give back. And the other mission we have also, because in Canada, you need to understand that there was a part of time where baseball wasn't famous like at all. Like it just I don't know what happened, but we used to have the Montreal Expos, if you remember, in the MLB Montreal Expos, and we had our team. But then the team they moved to Washington, and after that, maybe a little before that, the baseball was getting less popular in Quebec, in Canada, and we were sad. You talked about your wife who knows everything about soccer, but me, I was touring all around the province with my dad, and I remember my dad and Claude Potvin, we were traveling together, and they were sad because they were seeing those baseball field, like they were like destroyed and they replaced by a soccer field or houses and condos or whatever. But we've lost so many baseball fields in our province. And the thing about the Four Chevaliers is we were on national television for 7 years, so from 2014 till 2020. We were on national television doing our show, like resume all our tour, all our games were resumed into a short like period of time. And the fact that they were seeing that comedy on field with costumes and everything, trick shots, and the kids got to realize about the funny part of that game, because it's hard to love baseball when you're a kid. It's not the game that's so easy to play when you have like 7 years old or 6 years old, right? And I think we brought a lot of attention to this game for the kids, because they were watching our TV show and they started thinking about, hey man, I want to play baseball too. Like, it looks fun, so I want to play baseball. And now it's funny because this year it's just crazy. We've been invited to inaugurate, I think like 7 new baseball fields, or restore, like they restore the, is it restore? I say, like when they just renew it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it was, they built a new one, or they renew the old field that was abandoned. And man, I just feel like this is like mission accomplished, because we also want the kids to play baseball. We want this game to still be alive. I grew up on a baseball field, and I just think that it's the best place to be in the world, man. I just like the sound of the bat, sound of the mitt, man, and everything about baseball is just my. And yeah, man, it's a very good thing that at least if we can bring kids outside instead of staying on their video games, it's also a big part of our success too.
He just said something so crucial, especially for all you parents who are thinking about getting your kids in sports or what they're watching on TV. If not for programs like this, think about, I mean, the kids are seeing so much killing. This is me saying this, only me, or other things that are not natural, that the world has gone crazy and lost its dang mind. So if not watching your program on there, who knows what they'd be watching? And I think I'll leave it like that so we don't drop off and have people emailing you. They don't email me because people know I could give a hoot or a care about what you think. I'm going to live my life. You guys live yours. But this is why it's needed. Sports really helps. And, with that, I see your beautiful hat. I go on the website. I see that you're not selling merchandise on the website yet. Is that intentional, or is it because it just takes it's so hard and people complain so much
Yeah,
about,
man, I don't. It's just like I don't, man. I don't know, man. It's hard to sell online. I'm not in. I just feel like sending packages all day long and finding someone to do it, and make sure that you have like everything you need. Like you have and then sometimes like you're out of stock, and then they complains, and I don't want them to hate my team because they haven't received their package on time.
Yes.
So yeah, it's some kind of things happened back in the days that like some of our fans, they kind of got mad because of bad shipping or whatever. So I just decided, I said, man, I don't want people to hate us because we haven't shipped on time. Like, I mean, so, yeah, man. So I just decided to.
Okay, here's the solution for that. You produce your product, but you put it on a site like an Amazon, so you hold no product. So if they want it, Amazon's warehouse will send it out. The cost is the cost because we know Amazon has to get their cut too. That's okay. But you guys, I want you to listen to that because so many people, we have so many clients who say, I don't even have to do this. I'm doing it for the fans. But one mistake you do, maybe 10 mistakes, things aren't perfect. You know how many mistakes Amazon is still making, Walmart is still making? But for a small business owner, even mid-size, it's like, I don't have to do this. You guys are complaining, and then you put these reviews out there that make us look like, we don't know what the hell we're doing. So that's just for you, the audience. And when you're producing something, try to find a foolproof plan because people will try to burn you more than they try to congratulate you sometimes. That I just wanted you to say that. I knew it.
Man. That's good.
I knew it. I see the product. I'm like, man, I want to buy a product, but I'll wait till I get to the game. Maybe they'll have some. December was the last time you guys came out here, so maybe in December if we're here. Even though
I'll see you in I'll see you in Florida for sure. Like we've got our office in Florida, by the way, like in Merritt Island. You can type on Google Map the Four Chevaliers. Hold on, no man, I got it done.
No,
Somebody was calling me. Yeah, man. So you can go type on Google the Four Chevaliers. We're right next to the SpaceX, man. I see those rockets every week, man. I didn't know there was so many rockets going in the sky, but man, just for Canadian. And I got my office for like 2 years ago until now. And yeah, I didn't know really like the Merritt Island area, but fell in love into Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, everything. So it's just the part of Florida that I really like to. I like this place. It's not too much crowded, and yeah. So and there's also that USSSA Space Coast Complex in Vieira. I don't know if you know that place, but it's just the best place for softball. So many fields with my sponsor Easton, by the way. That I got fields there to train, and yeah. So this is why I went there. But yeah, man, you can type like the Four Chevaliers. You're gonna see my office, and for sure, man, I'll probably go see you you're in West Palm Beach.
I'm in West Palm. I'm in Palm Beach County. So I live in the country of it. I live out of the way, but I mean we're like I say, 20 minutes from hitting the city or Mar-a-Lago. Can you tell the people a tax lesson? It might be a tax lesson or a expansion lesson of why a Canadian team would have an office in Florida. Because a lot of our people want to be in another country. And they ask me, Kellen, is there any tax benefit? And I say, go get your CPA, your accountant. Don't ask me. Ask somebody who's an expert in that. But what was the reasoning for having the office in Florida?
It's about like the working visa to be illegal as a Canadian. So you do the things correctly. So yeah, you need to. Maybe it's part of showing that you spent money and you rent like an office, like commercial office, or I think I should ask my immigration lawyer. But the thing is that I need to have an office to prove that I operate my business the way I should do as a Canadian or whatever immigrant in the country. So I don't really know why, but I just know I spent that much money every month and I'm not really there. But during winter, yeah, I spend a lot of time there at the office. It's just like helps me to focus on my show. You're not home, you're just into an office on your computer, and then I write my things, and you go like you look outside and it's beautiful, sunny with palm trees, and I'm like, man, this is the best place I can write my jokes. In Canada, I would be inside with snow, freezing, and I just feel like so much more inspiration in Florida than I have in Canada. So yeah, I spent a good time there. And yeah, it's mostly like I said, mostly for the working visa that I have in the office there.
I tell you, Canada is we lived in Seattle for 6 years, and to be able to go into, and we lived in Massachusetts, so we go, whether it's Montreal or we go to Vancouver. It's so easy to get into Canada as an American. They ask you two questions, how long are you going to be? Why are you here? Welcome. Coming back, driving. Coming back is pop up your trunk, everybody. And it just shows you like, my gosh, well, what is going on in America? Why would someone want to be here? That's why we go get dual citizenships and residencies. You guys, Mexico is open for anybody who wants to go. It's so easy to get a residency in Mexico right now. Go get it, because what you're talking about, how you get inspired here and how, before talking how rights are changing, we're not seeing that in Mexico. We're not even seeing that in African countries where you can just be free to be you and people want to live with their families in peace. So I like to give game to the audience to have them thinking outside of the bubble, because this is the matrix and you get to choose your matrix. Let the people know.
Let me tell you a good one about that, because first time when I did my first backward home run in 2015 that brought me to Fox and Friends. I remember I had some conversations with that girl there. She was working for Fox, and she told me like, yeah, I want to, like, can you come to New York? We would like to have you on our show. And I was like, yeah, so are you guys paying my hotel? Yeah, no, I will pay your hotel and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, you guys are paying my gas, like, at least, yeah, no problem. So, okay, bro. I should have asked more. I didn't know, man. I was young and I was so excited to go. I was like, this is going to be a good promotion for me to come back here. And everybody in Canada would be like, hey, man, that's the big thing. You went, especially for French Canadian, if you make it big in New York City and you go to the biggest morning show in the United States, bro, you come back here, you're just a legend, so I was just, man, so happy. So I just negotiated that gas, hotel, and that's it. But for me, I'm on Fox, man. I'm just like connected to politics or whatever, man. Nobody can touch me, man. I'm going to Fox and Friends tomorrow. But I crossed the border, so, and that guy at the border, he's like, yeah, where are you going? Like, and I have my truck, which is like full of softball things and, man, four chevaliers, and you can tell that this is my job. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going on Fox and Friends. He said, okay, and what are you gonna do there? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about a special softball tricks I did. Hold on, sorry. Can you see me now? Okay, so I'm going to talk about special tricks I did, special backward home run. It's like, okay, and what's your job? Well, my job, I play softball. He's like, man, are you making money like going to Fox and Friends? I'm like, no, I'm not making money. Yeah, you're not gonna work there. No, I'm not gonna work. I'm not making money. He's like, you're sure? They're not paying for anything? I'm like, no, they're not paying for it. I was so scared, man. I just like posted on Facebook a day before that I was going there. All of my friends, everybody were so happy. So I didn't want to get stuck at the border, and so I need to come back and cancel my interview on Fox. So, man, at this moment, I kind of realized that I spoke too much and that I kind of gave him some information about, okay, maybe he's going to consider this as a job and I'm going to make money there. But I didn't know I couldn't get anything. Like you said, I couldn't get my gas paid and the hotel paid. So I couldn't get anything of. So anyways, he told me to go inside. So I go inside and I'm on my seat. And man, I'm just like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, no way, no chance. There was a chance in my lifetime to come back in Canada and be like, yeah, I went on the biggest morning show in the United States, and now this is not going to happen, man. You're kidding me. So I was very nervous, and then the guy called my name, and so I go see him, and he's like, yeah, so you're not making money here. They're not paying for anything. And at this time in 2015, my English wasn't that good. I mean, I got better in English now, but I wasn't that good. And when I crossed the border, I'm so nervous like that. I'm not as good as I am maybe now. Okay. And He's like, yeah, so what's your contact at Fox? So I take my cell phone and I'm scrolling my emails, and he grabs my cell phone and he tells me to go back and sit down. So I'm like, no chance, no kidding. This is all written. Like you, like hotel, gas, everything is like. I told him I have nothing paid for, and now I'm gonna be in big trouble. And for some reason, man, I don't know, but I kind of like got the idea to lie a little bit. I don't know if I should say that, but I just wanted to go on Fog so much. But so he calls me back after reading all my emails, and he's like, "Man, why did you lie to me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Why did you lie to me?" I said, "What the?" And now, man, I'm not speaking English good now. I did a lie. What you're talking about? He said, "Yeah, you told me you have nothing paid for, and now I can see in the email you have your gas paid for and you have the hotel paid for. Why did you lie to me?" And I'm like taking my worst English accent. But I'm like, hey, listen, okay, I'm not so good in English. I don't write and I don't read in English at all. I actually don't know what's written in the emails. It's all my manager. My manager got conversation with Fox. The only thing I know is tomorrow I need to be in Fox and Friends, but I didn't know what's in it. And he believed me, man. He's like, oh, said, okay, it sounds credible. So he said, what's your name again? Like Renaud Lefort. So he started typing my name on the computer, but now I kind of felt like little like, damn, he's typing my names. Maybe I got a something like they're gonna ban me. I'm on the blacklist of the country forever or whatever. So, man, calls all of the other how do you call these guys that works at the borders? Like all the what's the
The border the TSA
border,
we call TSA border agents, whatever they are. They were
so,
doing too much. They
man.
were
So
working too hard.
he calls all the other guys, the TSA agent, whatever, but he calls all the other guys and say, guys, come. I'm like, no way, man. This is not that much of a big deal. I should not get arrested by all these guys together. I'll go wherever you want me to go, man, if you want me to go back. But then all the guys came behind the computer and he pressed probably like spacebar or I don't know, man. I just hear pop and I hear the audio of the video of my backward home run. And then they watched it all together and they're all like, wow, man, that's crazy. What an home run. And then they high-five me and they're like, man, good luck on Fox and Friends. Good job, man. Proud for you. It's just, man, thrill of a lifetime. I couldn't feel more nervous than that.
Wow. Again, overzealous employees. We thank you for trying to do your job, but the man is trying to go do an interview and it takes you, and this is the thing, it takes you being special, right? For them to say, oh, okay, how many people have they turned around and have they missed opportunity, missed funerals? It's just crazy. I wanted to save this question for your book, but with ChatGPT, everybody can have a book tomorrow, if not today. How long did it take you? How many swings to learn that the backwards home run or the other trick shots? Like for that kid who's practicing something different, how many hours, how many days or years till you got it right?
Listen, I grew up. My dad was in the original team with Claude Potvin, like I told you, that the man who first started doing this backward shot, like backward hit, whatever. And when I was a kid, as soon as I started hitting forward, I started hitting backward too. So I wanted to be a Four Chevaliers. Like I said, I've never thought about going into the MLB. So I said to myself, one day I'm going to be the one doing this. So I was a kid, man, and as soon as I learned how to play ball, I was hitting backward too. But man, it's not like it's not always working. You guys seen the videos and like these, like sometimes it's just a grounder, sometimes it's just a line drive. Sometimes I get strikeout, but it's not always working. That's why it's funny because one time I was with the Blue Jays and Jose Batista, Jose Batista?
Yeah.
So Jose Batista, he comes and see me, and these guys all knew me because I like what I did. And I mean, I was at Josh Donaldson's party. Like, it was a bowling party, a fundraising. So Josh Donaldson comes and see me, and I was all impressed. And like, wow, it's Josh Donaldson. I really like this guy. So he comes and see me, and he's like, "Hey, Renaud, you're the guy like the backward home run." I'm like, yeah, I'm the backward home run guy. He said, "Yeah." So you see all the people in this place? Yeah. So there was all the Blue Jays. Like, he said to me, "You're the biggest legend in this place." I was like, man, Josh Donaldson's telling me this. I was just like, man, it's not possible. But kind of, I knew it was kind of a joke, but just feels so cool from Josh Donaldson. And then Jose Batista comes and see me, and he's like, "Hey, man, I want to do something with you. Would you like to be able to come to the Rogers Center so you could be hitting like before our games? You hit some backward home run before our games, and people would be like, it's gonna be crazy before the games. So you just do an exhibition, like little something."
You
Man,
know, what you just sparked an idea that your manager has to go see, you know, how you can do this, but you have to have a character in the future video games for, you know, the baseball games. They
yeah,
have
for
to.
the mega super mega baseball. You talk about like that cartoon baseball with David Ortiz, the new one, like the Super Mega Baseball 4, I think. That should be part of it. I know. I wrote to them. I was like, hey, we should make our team like on that game. I don't know if you have played this game. It's a very easy game to play
Mhm.
because baseball, there's no more easy baseball games. Back in the days, it was easy to play. Now there's like in MLB The Show, you need to be more. But yeah, Super Mega Baseball is my favorite baseball game.
Do,
And
do, do you think that would work if, you know, if practiced in even college sports where, you know, because I can hear somebody say it's a different game at the college and pro level. You guys let him go against, you know, whoever and see if he can hit them backwards, making a mockery of the game. Do you think that, you know, it would work at the college or pro level as well?
I mean, not a. I mean, the chances of getting a good hit are much lower than the chances of getting a good hitting normal. So this is why it went viral, because it's very hard to do. um I don't know if I face it, because the thing is that some people think that if the ball comes slow, it's going to be easier for me. But I said no, because when it's slow, the ball just falls down like in front of my bat. But as soon as I turn around, I don't see the ball. So the ball needs to be straight at a certain point. It doesn't need to be like a slow pitch. It needs to be a fast pitch. But I don't know if I could get some, sliders and curves, and then you get like change ups, and so the thing about our show is, I need to admit that 50% of the pitchers we face, they want me to succeed, especially since those video went viral. They know the crowd are like, the people in the crowd, they want to see the backward hit, at least the line drive, at least like something. So they want me to succeed. So they're not gonna try to throw a rise ball, or most of the time they're gonna try and throw it down the middle. Now it wasn't like that back in the days before that big thing, like big viral happened. But yeah, it's like I said, like one pitcher out of two is nice with me, and he wants me to succeed. And the catcher is also with him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, is my mitt at the right place?" I'm like, "Yeah, but whatever." The thing is, I don't know any pitchers who actually can throw in the mitt all the time, so it's still like part of the difficulties that you never know. But I don't think I would be able to have a good batting average in college hitting backward. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it. But I mean, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that with a composite bat, like those aluminum bat or whatever composite, with 400 feet fence. I tried, by the way, because I play softball, so I didn't know how much of a composite bat with a small baseball, because a small baseball goes way much further. I think I could, if I touch the ball, I think I could hit home runs though. And the funny part about baseball and softball, it's always the same thing. They watch the video, and there's so much jealousy in that game. I don't know. I don't understand why, man. This game is a bunch of jealous people bashing each other's, and there's so many haters. Like, I don't understand, man. I mean, I feel good with myself. I see something cool, I can tell that this is cool stuff. This is unique. You don't need to tell me like that. I'm out because I stepped out of the box, and you're out, and you're this is stupid. Next time, if I'm the pitcher, next time I'm gonna bin ball him right on the head. There's so many stupid comments. I mean, it's something unique, something hard to do. Just realize that I did something like special, and stop talking shit. And by the way, my bat is not shaved. My bat's not rolled. We're trying to take care of the pitcher. We don't want to kill anybody. It's a show. And if we start killing pitchers because we rolled and we shaved our bats so they perform better, we don't want to kill the third base, first base. We don't shave our bat. But then this is the kind of comments that I see all the time. Yeah, he's got a bat, like a illegal bat for sure, and blah blah blah. And man, stop talking trash, guys. Come on, like, we play baseball. If you guys like baseball, if you like the game, and stop always be jealous about other people's success. But I don't understand that. But just crazy that most of the comments I see sometimes on my backward home run are always some jealous comments. And man, I don't know, man. I feel like
you don't understand it because you're living your best life and you're doing things the way Frank Sinatra said, your way, my way. So you're living your best life. It's always that person who, maybe their life just isn't what they thought it was going to be. But guess what, you guys? You chose it. And you can also choose to make that change. You can go practice over and over and over. The backward shot, I'm sure it was not got on the first time, like anything. You had to practice, and that's all I was trying to see. Was it 10,000 swings or was it 100 swings on that backward swing?
Oh man, fucking 10,000 for sure, man. At least 10,000. Like I said, I grew up, I played like it was a foam ball and a foam bat when I started. So just imagine.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to give them too much because I do want to see the book. I want to see it on Amazon and in the libraries like we see our own books, because it's so inspiring when you can take something, you start writing about it. Also, it helps your speaking engagements, people, when you have a book and you always have something to sell to the people. But let the people know where they can find you and the schedule, and any last words for the folks.
Yeah, man. Well, for sure that we'll try to go back to Florida this winter. We'll see if we could produce other shows. I would love to play against college and university and the women team. Like, I just think that these girls are so good, man. I'm talking about the UCF Knights, the Gators, and there's like the D1 university. Man, I when I'm in Florida, I go to see the Gator, like softball, the girls, and the Knights. They're called the Knights, by the way, the UCF Knights, and just want to face them. Like, I think that it would be a great game. I don't even think we're gonna win. They're so good. These girls are so good. The kind of level that we don't have here for women softball fast pitch. I've never seen a good quality players like they are. It's just like incredible. I have so much respect for these girls. You see, they train hard. And I would like to compete against them without, like, I mean, I wouldn't feel ashamed to lose against these kinds of machines. Like, these girls are so good. I really that would be my next step, my biggest dream now. I want to face those Gators or the UCF Knights and all the other teams like around the United States. It's at least Southern United States, because in winter we're available in winter, but in summer I want to stay here in Quebec. I like my people. I like to raise money here for my people, and for sure I'm gonna stay. All of my summers will stay here. So if you guys want to come to Quebec, if you guys want to come around Montreal for whatever, I mean, it's the best time to come, because December, forget about freezing in Montreal, man. I at least, except if you want to see the snow for the first time, man, maybe you will regret. But I mean. Now it's a good time to come to Quebec City. Quebec City is a beautiful place. So if you have something to do here, man, you guys could go, which man, like on my website, we have all our schedule with all the maps. on Les, so LES, so Les 4, the number 4, Chevaliers, so Chevaliers with an S. I don't know if you can see, but if you go to les4chevaliers.com, you're going to see my schedule. And we still have, I think, 10 or 15 games this season. So, yeah, be pleasure if you guys want to come and see our show. Depends if you want to, maybe like most of you guys probably don't understand anything about the comedy show because it's in French, but visually you'll have a show anyway. Like, it's very visual, and you're gonna understand with your eyes if you want.
Definitely, definitely. And if for some reason I can see a show in Mexico and so many other places, they've already been to Japan. But I look out for all the countries that will allow us to come in. So you guys, you've been blessed by the game. We have stuff to talk about off air, because if I need to go to the colleges to just, be that face and say, hey, let's make those games happen. As a registered sports agent in the state of Florida, I will do that. You guys, make sure that you tune in, you tap in, go look in the descriptions, go see what's up. And also, like, share, subscribe, share this game, because it will change somebody's life. Y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.